supplements.
I take it because it's supposed to be good for me, but I can't say that I have one single benefit that jumps out at me.
And I think that's important because there are many vitamins and minerals that are out there that purported to be really good for MS, but the reality is each person's an individual. You'll work with your healthcare team provider to measure and monitor, to start something and assess, is it helping, is it not? And MS is a very complicated condition, so many of these things may not have an impact. But if we're going to look at some of the supplements and the grouping of them, what I brought today is I brought an antioxidant combination or grouping. And one of the options is something called R-alpha lipoic acid. It's a very strong antioxidant. The idea with antioxidants is if there is an autoimmune reaction, free radicals are formed when we are exposed to things in the environment. And they're difficult because they are a paired grouping and they're looking to bind to something. And that creates damage in the body. So by having antioxidants, which come from our foods and potentially supplements like the alpha lipoic acid or quercetin, the idea is that we're reducing the inflammatory process and we're reducing the health condition process. Then we've got other things like curcumin and turmeric. Again, same idea, reducing inflammation. We also have MSM, which is related to joint function. So if we're having difficulties, especially if there's an arthritic overlap, because there's nothing to say you can't have more than two things going on at the same time. You were talking about spasms as well, and of course calcium and magnesium can help relax smooth muscles, so that might be a consideration. If there's nervous tingling, vitamin B12 and folic acid might be an important factor. And then there is some research that to suggest that the mineral chromium might be important in MS support as well. So as you can see, there's a whole host of things that might be potential possibilities, but again, you want to work with the team to make sure you've got the best combination. So, ladies, with MS, let's go back to the flexibility factor because, you know, we just, you know, we're shooting this show and we were sort of talking and we were talking about the fact that it's important to be flexible, not only in taping and so forth, but also in life. What are the important things that you found you needed to be flexible with?
Everything. I mean, with MS, it's a disease where you can wake up the next morning and feel like crap and not be able to do what you set out to do. So I've often had days where what I set out to do just happens to be one of those days where nothing gets done because you try to start something and you just can't get it done. So I've had to learn to be flexible. The flexibility also comes in with learning your body and your own fatigue level, what you're capable of doing on a regular basis. So that's my biggest flexibility, is learning to be patient. Patient.
Well, I think, and like we talked about, the unpredictability of the disease. Everybody, as Trish said, it almost forces individuals at some point to become flexible or as she said, to learn their bodies. It's dealing with the way that the disease comes and goes.
I think for some people in the early stages, like one of my girlfriends, she was sharing that, you know, because she didn't look different in the beginning, everybody really didn't understand why she was canceling and rescheduling and needing to do things kind of at her pace. But that is still an important thing to consider, whether you're in the early stages and really all of us can learn about the whole concept of pacing and stress management.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I noticed that you two ladies have a really close relationship. So, you know, you laugh at everything. So with the MS Society, tell us about the coaching concept.
Coaching, I guess it depends on the individual that may contact the Society or whom I'm approached by, whether it's somebody like Trish or somebody who chooses not to come into the Society but just wants some assistance over the phone. I mean, it's really important to, I can't say that they have to face their disease head on, but it's, as Trish said, learning about their body and learning about what's going to help them, and for me to understand what I can do to help that individual, to help them become as independent as possible. And if in fact that individual is looking to me to provide some of that assistance, that's certainly part of my role there, be it in dealing with healthcare professionals or trying to find them some kind of recreational activity. It's really working with the client.
It's interesting because I'm just thinking in my mind that we have kind of two things happening. We have the whole condition of having MS, and then we also have the view to the audience of a disability. And if it's okay to say, when people view you, you're in a wheelchair, and they don't know why, they don't know your life history, and so they think about a disability and perhaps what you cannot do. So I like the fact that when you were trying to move over here, you wanted to give it an effort first. And so again, for all of us that see somebody potentially with a disability, what can we do, and what's the best thing that we can do to ultimately help the person with their ability?
The best thing to do is to ask first before you presume to go and do something for someone. For example, don't just automatically push my wheelchair. I'm quite capable of pushing myself.
Yeah.
But if I want you to push it, I'll ask.
I saw you do a wheelie over there.
You get good at getting
get
over
very
little
proficient.
obstacles.
Yeah. Exactly. So let's go back to our quiz and just have some fun with that. So I'll ask you ladies, number one, is MS common to begin around the age of 30?
No.
No, not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
It is a young adult disease, but
Yeah.
the average age is 15 to 40 when individuals are diagnosed.
Number two, many people with MS live with minimal symptoms for years.
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah. And I think we've already answered this one. Omega-3 fatty acids can be helpful in reducing the effects of MS.
They say it is, so I take it, and supposedly it does something.
It does lots of other good things as well.
Everybody's different, so it depends.
Exactly. One of the other oils I'd throw in there, though, would be coconut oil. And if you're not using it already, it's a great alternative to butter, to cooking oils. The whole idea of medium chain fatty acids versus short and long. Coconut oil is a medium chain fatty acid, and research shows that it could potentially be beneficial in any autoimmune condition.
Okay.
So something else there.
Oh, excellent.
Thank you so much for being here. So again, thank you to all of our guests today for sharing their stories and information. Although today's show was focused on MS, any of the foods and general health tips can really assist any of us to improve our wellness. I will be speaking again on hormone health. Join me June 16th at the National Capital Fit Day. Have a great day, and we look forward to seeing you again here on Revive Life. I'm Naturopathic Dr. Joelle.